In 1865, Lewis Carroll wrote a story about a little girl who falls down a rabbit hole. It was whimsical, colorful, safe. For over 100 years, that's what Alice was. A children's story, a Disney movie, a tea party. And then, in the year 2000, someone looked at that story and asked a very different question. What if Alice was broken? American McGee's Alice starts where the fairy tale ends. Alice's family is dead, killed in a house fire while she slept. She survived. She doesn't know why. And the guilt of that, the weight of being the only one who made it out, shattered her mind completely. By the time the game begins, she's been comatose in a psychiatric institution for years, locked inside her own head. And the only place her mind can go is Wonderland. But this Wonderland isn't the one you remember. The colors are gone. The whimsy is gone. What's left is something that looks like a nightmare filtered through grief. The Mad Hatter isn't eccentric. He's terrifying. The Queen of Hearts isn't theatrical. She's a monster wearing authority like a costume. Every corner of this world reflects something Alice can't face in the real one. That's what made this game different from everything else at the time. It wasn't just dark for the sake of being dark. It used darkness as a language. Wonderland wasn't a place. It was a mind. And exploring it meant exploring what happens to a person when loss has nowhere to go. Nobody expected a game like this to exist. Nobody expected it to work. It did. Most dark games are dark because of what they show you. Gore, violence, monsters. Alice was different. Alice was dark because of what it made you feel. The year 2000 was not a subtle time for video games. You had shooters, you had platformers, you had games that were trying very hard to be movies. Nobody was making games about grief. Nobody was making games about what a traumatized mind actually looks like from the inside. McGee did. And the way he did it was through design. Every single element of Wonderland in this game was a reflection of Alice's psychological state. The environments weren't just levels, they were symptoms. The enemies weren't just obstacles, they were manifestations. The further you went into Wonderland, the further you went into a mind that was trying to survive something it was never built to handle. The Mad Hatter wasn't eccentric anymore. He was controlling, mechanical, obsessed with order in a way that felt genuinely threatening, like someone who had taken the idea of logic and pushed it so far it became cruelty. The Cheshire Cat wasn't playful. He was the only honest thing in the whole world. The part of Alice's mind that could still see clearly, that could tell her the truth even when the truth was hard. He guided her, not with comfort, with clarity. And the Queen of Hearts. She wasn't a villain throwing playing cards around. She was the trauma itself, the thing at the center of everything, the reason Wonderland was broken. You didn't fight her because the story required a final boss. You fought her because Alice needed to. That's the thing about this game that nobody talks about enough. It understood something that most games still don't. That the most frightening worlds aren't the ones full of monsters. They're the ones that make sense. Wonderland in this game made a horrible kind of sense. Every choice, every image, every enemy, it all pointed back to one thing. A little girl who lost everything and had nowhere to put it. That's not a game mechanic. That's literature. 11 years passed. 11 years of silence. And then, in 2011, Alice came back. Alice, Madness Returns, picked up where the first game left off. Alice is older now. She's been discharged from the psychiatric institution. She's living in a home for orphans in Victorian London. She's trying to function, trying to exist in the real world like a normal person. She can't. The hallucinations never stopped. Wonderland keeps pulling her back. And this time, something inside it is different. Something is wrong in a way it wasn't before. Memories are being destroyed. Whole sections of Wonderland are collapsing, disappearing, being consumed by something she can't name yet. And the deeper she goes, the more she realizes. The answer isn't in Wonderland. It never was. The answer is in what she can't remember. What Madness Returns did that the first game didn't was go further. It asked a harder question, not just what does grief look like, but what do we do with memories that are too painful to keep and too important to lose? Alice can't remember the night of the fire clearly. She thinks she knows what happened. She's built a version of events that she can live with, and the entire game is the slow, horrifying process of that version falling apart. Because the truth is worse than what she remembered, and Wonderland, her Wonderland, has been protecting her from it. Visually, it was stunning. Emotionally, it was exhausting, in the best possible way. Madness Returns wasn't a perfect game. The combat could be repetitive. Some sections went on longer than they needed to. Critics were divided, but nobody who played it forgot it, because it did something rare. It made you feel like you were inside someone else's pain, not watching it, not observing it from a safe distance, inside it. And then the credits rolled, and Alice was still not okay, and the game ended anyway. And you sat there thinking, that can't be it. There has to be more. There wasn't. Not yet. Not ever, as it turned out. But we'll get to that. After Madness Returns, McGee didn't move on. He couldn't. Alice wasn't finished. Not really. The story had an ending, but not a conclusion. Alice was still broken at the end of Madness Returns. Still damaged, still carrying something that hadn't been resolved. McGee knew what the third game was, and he had it. The concept, the story, the world. He called it Alice, Asylum. And for over a decade, he tried to make it real. This wasn't a passive thing. He was waiting for EA to call, while building actively, deliberately, with his own resources and the support of fans who never stopped believing the story deserved an ending. He opened a Patreon, and the fans showed up. Artists contributed concept art, writers contributed story ideas, designers contributed mechanics. McGee himself poured years into what became known as the Alice Asylum Design Bible, a document hundreds of pages long containing everything the game needed to exist. Character designs, level concepts, narrative arcs, psychological themes. A full production plan developed in collaboration with Virtuos Games, a real studio with real resources. This wasn't a dream written on a napkin. This was a complete vision with a professional pitch. Evidence that the game could be made, should be made, and had an audience waiting for it. He took all of it to EA. He presented it. He waited. And here's the thing that makes this story hard to sit with. McGee wasn't asking for much. He wasn't demanding full control or unlimited budget. He presented two options. Either EA funds the development directly, or they license the IP to him and let another publisher handle it. There were two possibilities. Either choice could have allowed Alice, Asylum, to come to life. He simply required EA to approve one of them. However, they rejected both. McGee and his team waited for weeks, filled with hope, constantly checking their inboxes until they finally got EA's reply. Alice Asylum request was not dismissed by EA through a phone call or in a meeting. Instead, it was turned down in a single paragraph. It was clinical. They said they'd passed on funding due to, quote, an internal analysis of the IP, market conditions, and details of the production proposal. That's corporate language designed to sound like a reason without actually giving you one. But it gets worse. McGee had offered them an alternative. If EA didn't want to fund it themselves, fine. License it. Let someone else make it. Let the fans who had been waiting over a decade finally get their game made by a different team under a different banner. EA has also declined. Their reasoning? Quote, Alice plays a crucial role in EA's overall game lineup, and they are currently not open to selling or licensing it. Alice holds importance for them. Significant enough to retain, not crucial enough to develop, and not vital enough for another party to create. Significant enough to possess, but not significant enough to use it. So, it remains idle. McGee and all those involved in crafting that design Bible get a courteous rejection and nothing more. This has moved beyond creativity. It revolves entirely around ownership. EA has complete ownership of Alice. Period. And having something doesn't necessarily mean taking action with it. It simply indicates that no one else can touch it. McGee has put in almost a decade on this project. Not as a side gig he dabbled in during his free time. 10 years of pitching ideas, 10 years of design know-how. He spent a decade telling fans we're almost there because he genuinely believed it. And then EA shot him down. And that was that. McGee confessed that legally he has zero claim to Alice. Absolutely none. He can't create anything resembling Alice in Wonderland or anything similar for the rest of his life. The man who wrote to her, locked out of his own creation, forever. But here's where the story takes a turn nobody saw coming. While McGee walked away, someone else picked it up. An independent developer named Henri Guevaras looked at everything McGee left behind, the design Bible, the concept art, the years of work that EA refused to fund, and decided to build it anyway. Alone, unpaid, and using Unreal Engine 5 as a fan project, with zero backing from anyone. Clips started appearing online. Environments that looked like something out of a real AAA production. Character models. Combat. The entire levels built from McGee's original vision. The one EA said wasn't worth making. Fans lost their minds. This wasn't a tech demo. This was Alice, Asylum, actually taking shape, made by someone with no contract, no funding, no permission. Just belief that the story deserved to exist. For a while, it felt like hope. But then, in early 2026, Henri made an announcement of their own. The project couldn't be released publicly because of EA's IP rights. The same wall that stopped McGee a decade earlier had finally caught up to the one person trying to finish what he started. Well, here we are. The guy who brought Alice to life can't get close to her anymore. The fan who tried to finish the story can't share what she made. And EA, the ones who wouldn't fund, license, or let anyone else take a shot at it, still holds the reins on everything.